ever wondered why a child who speaks so confidently at home might actually struggle to do that outside? Today, I have the honour of speaking with Erica, and she's a mom from Italy who raised her daughter in a bilingual environment. But when her daughter was 3 years old, she noticed that she was very different at home compared to being outside. She wouldn't smile for photos, she would hide behind her, and she seemed a little stuck, although she was that little. And Erica was really searching for answers. Why was her daughter so confident inside but not outside? And she soon discovered that it wasn't about not wanting to speak, but it was inability to speak. So she found me, she did my course, and we worked together to create personalized activities and strategies for her daughter. And today, Erica is here to share her stories, but above all, to share with parents like you that you're facing the same challenges. Hi, Erica. Welcome. So lovely to have you. Now, this is actually a really happy story because it started off really stressful, but your child has now overcome selective mutism. And that's something that a lot of parents ask me. But what was the biggest turning point for your child in overcoming selective mutism in terms of what strategies made the most impact in her progress?
I think the big turning point was when she started to talk at school. Obviously, my presence was there. We used the technique of the sliding in school, which then we apply in different settings. And with that, she started to talk, and she started to eat and drink and to interact.
So this is interesting. You said she started to eat and drink. And something that I always say is selective mutism is more than the fear of talking. So it was really very much, she was going to nursery and really playing on her own, but she wasn't actually feeling relaxed enough to eat or drink.
Yes, and she wouldn't even explore the room. The teacher always says to me she will stay in the same corner all the time. But with the sliding in and with my presence, she was confident. And with me, she explored different area and, with little steps, obviously.
So you were her bridge. So what you're really saying is, do you know what? If your child is that small, it's so important if the educational establishment allows you is to have the opportunity to be there with your child, right? So that would be the first thing to take on board.
The first things, yes. And also the bridge talk communication, that was really helpful because obviously I couldn't expect my daughter to speak with peers or with children or with the teachers because she wasn't ready. So using me, we were able to communicate with the teacher. And it was really important that even if my daughter wasn't talking directly to the teacher, but she was answering the question through myself.
That's interesting now, because we have that in common, that Italian is one of my languages, and you have your own language. So with your daughter, you speak Italian. What were you doing at nursery? Because that's something that a lot of bilingual family ask me. Were you using your language, so what worked for her, or were you actually using English?
I think I was using kind of both languages because she speaks both languages. So she obviously was confident in English with me and in Italian with me, but she wasn't confident in English at school.
Yeah.
So I was kind of helping her using both languages, but obviously I was repeating in Italian and in English too, so that everybody could understand what we were saying.
And I'm going to take this to say, as much as I always say, one parent, one language is my favorite strategy, but you also want to show your child that you can also speak the language of the country where you live.
Yes.
You want, so the first step would be you want to have your child to feel confident having their voice heard. So some people just start with their own language, but
Mm-hmm.
using English is kind of going, do you know what? We are both using the same language in an anxiety provoking situation. Yeah, that's
Yes.
excellent. So it was really very much the warming up. So I'm happy
Yeah.
to have my voice heard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Amazing. So,
Yeah.
but as a parent, do you know, what kind of challenges did you face during this journey? And what kept you motivated to keep going? Because what I hear is people going, I can't do this. This is so hard.
Yes. I think the big challenge is the surrounding, because obviously we have to expose our children and ourselves to lots of different things to help our child. And the surrounding is a big challenge, whether it can be when you go to the park or when you go to a party, or, for example, anything like maybe people around you. It can be a challenge because you know that to help your child, you want to apply all these strategies and technique. Um, and I think that can be really, really, really challenging for both of us, the child and the parents.
Yeah. So what kept your motivation up?
The fact you can see that your child does want to join other children, she does want to talk, she does want to participate. And with the strategy we use, you can see how slowly she's kind of, progressing. And that keeps you motivated because you see the result, bit by bit. And you go on and on and on, and you never stop. You never stop.
So I love that you've actually embraced the step by step. So again, to make it even simple is don't change too much, but
Mm-hmm.
keep going because anxiety is very clever. And as soon as something happens, it kind of goes, no, no, just I'm gonna try it, and then my mum will eventually give up and will do things like answering for me or doing things for me because fear is a big thing.
Yes.
There is a video that you will find in this channel called um, "Is the Brain Your Boss?" And
Mm-hmm.
we teach this even to little kids. It doesn't have to be a big thing. Now, is there anything that you wish you had known earlier?
I wish I knew early about selective mutism. It's what I always did, which is just concentrate on your child. What I used to do, I still think I have a bubble around me. So all the time I need to support my child. I create a bubble and I don't look what's outside the bubble to distract me. I just concentrate. Because sometimes it's very easy to get distracted, and we have to get out from our comfort zone as well. And it's not easy sometimes. So I create my own bubble for me and my daughter, and I just help her through all this work.
What kind of
Mhm.
approach did you use?
I always been very honest with Sarah Luisa. What we need to teach them is they don't need to send the anxiety away because anxiety is part of us, is part of them. So they need to embrace the anxiety and make friendship. That's how I say to Sarah Luisa. So they are friends and they can try and work together, and obviously she can control it, so she has technique to control it and she can manage that. So I always say that to my daughter. I know it's very difficult sometimes, but I know that you can manage, you can find the way to manage. When she has butterfly in her tummy, I always say, oh, they flying too quickly, maybe they tickle you, maybe tell them to be more quiet, but stay there, things like that.
So, how old is she now, and what does she say? What did she say when she was eventually able to use her voice?
So now she is 7, she's 7 years. Yeah. So she's very conscious about her anxiety. I'm not sure she remember well when she didn't talk that much because she was very little, but she does remember how unhappy she was and how scared she was to leave me. So she always says to me, Mommy, I wasn't happy. And she also watched her own picture where you can see how unhappy she was on her face. She didn't want to have any picture taken. So she does always tell me, I remember I didn't like school. And now she does tell me how nervous she feels, but still she's building confidence and resilience. So she's, still going.
I feel that empowering children is really important. It sounds like, she was very little. I think that nobody really talks about selective mutism. And you're one of the cases, actually, you started from very, very young, because some people just say, really, can you see it? But we can see it from very, very early age that a child is feeling uncomfortable using their voice in front of others. But one of the things is her strength of seeing how well she does and believing in trying and trying again. So I would like to thank you. And if you have any questions or anything that you've tried, please comment below. And I will see you next time for a new video.